Hello, my name is Sonia Ross. I'm a psychotherapist, intuitive messenger, and author. And this is a special video Spirit has asked me to do regarding healing shame. The question that came to me was, what does Spirit have to say about shame? And I guess maybe, what does it have to do with the spiritual journey? What role does it play in our healing or obstacle to healing? And so we're going to ask Spirit what it has to say about it. You want me to pull 5 cards? Shuffle, 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 right? So, because the journey we are on is very complex, and there's many emotional obstacles, because the journey is not just a physical obstacle. It's not just full of physical obstacles. A lot of the obstacles we face are emotional and internal. So we're going to ask Spirit, what does Spirit have to say about shame? Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. Spirit, what would you like to say about shame? What does Spirit have to say about shame? Okay, I've already been told they wanted me to pull 5 cards. What would you like to tell us about shame? Okay, so first thing I'm receiving is that shame is very big on the maternal line. Shame is more connected with the feminine body and the experience of being a woman. Okay. Spirit is also saying that shame is very gendered and sexualized. Interesting. Yes. And the Spirit is also saying that shame is shame was used to control women in their identities and their intuition, and to keep a lid on their power and their wisdom. Okay, interesting. I had never thought about shame that way. What else would you like to say about shame? Interesting. So Spirit just said that shame was used to root out divine wisdom. Okay. So we pull 5 cards for this conversation. Thank you. So I hope you all are doing well today. I hope this message finds you in peace and ease. And if you're not in a place of peace and ease, just go ahead and take a couple of deep breaths as you listen to me. And I hope that you will take this message in and use it for your own transformation and healing. That's why I do these videos. I love cards. I love tarot. But, these cards are not just to tell you who you're going to marry and if so-and-so likes you. The tarot cards are a powerful healing and transformational tool because they're portals into different energies and the messages that Spirit has for us. So I love it. Okay. So what does Spirit have to say about shame? In the beginning. In the beginning. So this is basically a major arcana card. And we're talking about shame. Interesting. Second card we get is be here now. Interesting. Beautiful. So next card we have is inspiration. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And we have indulgence. That's supposed to be a cake. See, the reason I'm looking at these cards like this is some of these cards I've never seen before. I've looked at the deck, but I've never pulled them up in readings. Okay. Again, perseverance is coming through. And this card came up in another reading I just did a moment ago. Okay. Another video I just did. Okay. So, Spirit, the question was, what does Spirit have to say about shame? Okay. So Spirit is saying that in the beginning, when we were created on a soul level, there was no shame. there was no shame. It was all oneness and love and purity and peace. But when the soul chose to come down into the physical, it wanted to experience things from a fractal perspective. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what a fractal is. I'm going to have to look that up. It's kind of like, I'm assuming that means fractured. Hold on. Let me look up and see what fractal means. God. Sometimes I get words. I don't know what they mean. What does fractal mean? What does does fractal? Okay. In mathematics, okay, a curve or geometric figure, each part which has the same statistical character as the whole. That's basically the soul, right? The soul is a fractal of, okay. Spirit, you're always so smart, right? So a fractal is a curve or a geometric figure, each part of which has the same statistical character as the whole. So basically, you know, we have the same statistical. The soul is basically a fractal. The higher self is a fractal of the one force, the one source. And the soul is a fractal of the higher self, you know, but it still has the same essence and characteristics as that the whole has. Fractals are useful in modeling structures, such as eroded coastlines or snowflakes, in which similar patterns recur at progressively smaller scales. That's what I just said. The one source, the one force, the higher self, the soul, you know, quote unquote, smaller, but still the same in its totality. Fractals are useful in modeling structures such as eroded coastlines or snowflakes, in which similar patterns recur at progressively smaller scales, and in describing partly random or chaotic phenomena such as crystal growth, fluid turbulence, and galaxy formations. Okay. That was the noun. The adjective is relating to or the nature of a fractal or fractals. I do not know what a fractal was. I've heard the word, but I didn't really know what it was. Um, okay. Yes. So we incarnate on the soul level to experience ourselves in the fractal state with the fractal of soul consciousness, how we can experience this dimension. And I think I'm just going to read this other definition. Somebody asked, what is a fractal in simple terms? And what it says here from Internal Technologies, a fractal is a type of mathematical shape that is infinitely complex. And so that's basically the soul. Like, we think that we're in this journey of being a human, and it's just this ridiculousness and craziness, and sometimes it's lovely and it's beautiful and it's happy, but it's like wild. It's very, very wild. Being human is very, very wild. And we think, oh my God, this is crazy. But this is a half of a percent of who we are. We are an infinitely complex being to the point where it will like completely blow your mind. And it's super, super interesting to me that a fractal is a type of mathematical shape that is infinitely complex. We are infinitely complex, but we have no memory of it. In essence, a fractal is a pattern that repeats forever, us, and every part of the fractal, regardless of how zoomed in or zoomed out you are, it looks very similar to the whole image. That is us. We are fractals. This is so amazing. Fractals surround us in so many different aspects of life. This is awesome. I'm going to take a screenshot of this because I feel like this is worth being kept, because this is basically what we are. We are fractals. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So, and I must be hitting on something because my nose is starting to run. Okay. So we're going to continue. I'm going to continue. Okay. So thank you for that. Staying with me for that brief sojourn with about a fractal. So interesting when you work with spirit, they take you down the wildest roads. I think we're talking about shame. They got me talking about fractals. Okay. So in the beginning, there was no shame. But as a fractal of the divine, of the infinite, we wanted to experience things from all perspectives, even unpleasant ones. The soul is aware of the unpleasantness that is inherent in the human experience, but the expansion is so great, it is worth it. I just said, and I just asked myself, because I always ask this question, like, why would we want to just know ourselves if we're everything, an infinite being? And Spirit said, to know ourselves with more and more infinite depth is the journey that we were all on. The soul wants to know itself from every possible perspective and lineage and thread, because it adds to its all-knowing force. And it adds to the all-knowing force of the collective. So yes, it could stay in a place of complete peace and love and harmony, but it likes a challenge. And experiencing itself in a state of amnesia is a challenge. Okay. So in the beginning, all was one was all was goodness, and all is whole. That is our natural, infinite state. But to know ourselves in the fractal, as a fractal in the third dimension, is an impossible challenge, seemingly, but one the soul is always ready to take to their benefits. And the soul always wants to know itself in better and better ways, deeper and deeper ways. And that's why it always wants to come into the now. Is that so? That's the next card we have, is be here now. And by becoming present to ourselves and our soul and our emotions and our feelings and bringing all that into our present moment experience, that is how we heal, and that is how we expand, and that's how we release shame. Shame can be released in the fire of knowing who we really are. But first, we have to become present to all of our feelings and emotions and everything that stands outside of who we are as infinite beings. Spirit is used to give me an example that this is us with a pup, with the bone, and we're standing between two worlds. The world, Spirit is saying, the world of stardust and the world of form, the world of creation and the world of matter. Okay. But what does this have to do with shame? Shame is an all-encompassing feeling for some that belies the truth of who we are. Okay. But they would like me to continue because I interrupted. I'm sorry. They're like, we're getting to it. I'm like, okay. They're saying the fire and the inspiration that is inherent in us will burn up shame. And that shame is just really another thing that was to be experienced. It wasn't to be generational or an identity. But because it became generational and it became an identity, it also can be used for the soul's growth and purposes. But shame can be burned up in the fire of knowledge and inner understanding. Because shame is artificial. These historical, collective, generational things that have been put on certain groups in humanity where shame is just assigned to them because of their gender, being a woman, their skin color, their religion, whatever the case may be. Spirit is saying that can all be burned up in the fire of knowledge and truth of self. Spirit is saying to heal shame, it is not about making indulgence the enemy. Spirit is saying it's okay to indulge. We're in the physical. It's okay for us to indulge and explore and experiment and enjoy ourselves. The answer to healing shame is not restriction. The answer to healing shame is knowledge and truth of our whole identity. So work with yourself and always be in balance and always stay true to your inherent power. What would you like to say about perseverance? To be a part of this journey, we have to persevere. And Spirit is saying we have to persevere on the journey that we're currently on, not to let any of the emotional weight or baggage that we carry to stop us from being who we truly are. We have to persevere. And we have to stay the course. So let any feelings of shame you're holding about anything in your life be burned up in the fire and the knowledge of who you truly are. And this is not about bypassing. This is not about ignoring or scapegoating. This is about truly looking and paying attention to all the things that have made you feel ashamed and really calling on your angels, calling on your spiritual team, calling on the higher realms and saying, please bring in spiritual celestial reinforcements so that these things can be healed within me. And every time you notice something, call on an angel. Every time you notice something, ask your guides for help. Every time you notice something, just ask and ask and ask and ask, because you can never ask Spirit for too much help. And you can always ask the angels for more and more and more support. They are never tired. They are never, ever going to say no. Know that you have the support around you at all times. Thank you, Spirit. What else? Would you like to say anything else about shame? Spirit is saying, cast it off. Cast it off like a heavy wet blanket. Cast it off. And know that it has nothing to do with who you truly are as an infinite being. Okay. Okay. Anything else, Spirit? Nope. You're just saying just to release it and let it go. And release all identities you have surrounding it. Okay. Okay. So that is Spirit's thoughts on shame. And that is their advice for you for how to deal with it. So I hope this message resonated. I hope it made sense to you. Please leave me a comment below, letting me know your thoughts and feelings. And as I said before, my name is Sonia Ross. I am a psychotherapist, an intuitive messenger, and an author. And this is Spirit's message about healing shame, working with shame, the purpose of shame. Really, it has no purpose, but they work with everything. And until we meet again, sending you lots of peace, lots of love, lots of healing energy for your day, wherever this video finds you. Peace.